Hey everybody, this is Pete from PA Labs picking up on video 4 of our game, WarGame development. Um, I've kicked around a whole lot of where I want to start y'all off with ClassBuilder and building tables, and it turns out we're going to start out on our third table. Initially, I've gone ahead and created these types. I showed you these earlier. I've gone ahead and run that code. I've created a couple, an game era table, and I'll show you that eventually, and a nationality table. So this is a parent-child relationship. So I've set up that this is, we're building this to be a much bigger application. So what I have is game era, and I've created a single record there that says World War II, and then nationalities that you can choose from for that era game. I've currently set up Axis and the Allies. Okay, so keeping it relatively generic and straightforward for the entirety of this entire scenario of building this, that's all we care about. But in the future, should somebody want to build this out, you may pick a black powder era of, I don't know, it could be American Civil War, or the War of Independence in the U.S., or World War I, or any of the Crimean Wars, and you know, whatever you want to build, doesn't matter what or where. And then the nationalities would then be appropriate for that era. So you wouldn't want to just create the stuff that doesn't make sense. So that ended up being a lot more involved for a first introduction to this. And I think this guy here, this is going to be our WarGame class. So this is the game details screen. And what I have here is we're going to create a WarGame. And then we're going to let that replicate down here to the table name. And we have a screen called Game Details. And the parent of this is going to be main. And our list is going to be on the parent, and that is the list icon games. Okay, so we'll be coming back and refreshing this particular class many a time and regenerating the code. So our first field on our table is going to be the table ID, which is going to be an not an image, an integer. And we're going to identify it as key and to have it be auto increment. So we have our table key, and then we're going to have name, which is going to be our game name. And I'm going to go ahead and say that should be not null. And I'll give you a whole 75 characters. And let's come in here and say, okay, this particular field is string name. I don't need a default value. I would like to build combo boxes, and the list box over here we'll say is 200. Okay, so that's got him built. And now what we have is our synopsis. I think that's spelled right. I don't know. I'll look it up later. And so we have a clob, and he is our edit synopsis field. We don't need to mess with anything beyond that. He's going to be converted to RTF. So game type is going to be one of those type tables that we built. So let's come up here and say game type. And since we deal with type tables as if they are an actual table, this is going to be a foreign key not to a table, but to a type of game type. All right. And now we know we have the combo box of game type. Now, what ClassBuilder is going to do for us here is actually completely load that combo box for us with all the game types, and it'll default automatically to whoever the default is or the first one in the queue. Okay, so next field is max turns. Max turns. I did hit that. Okay, TURNS. And then we'll come down here and we're going to say he's an integer. No, he's not a key. No, he has nothing to do with that. And we will say he is string max turns. His default is 0 or unlimited. So, and that's really all I need to do for him. And then we have players. Oh, I haven't built players yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and save our work as is. We don't need to generate code for this yet. I want to first come over here and build players. So I've taken players and I've let them have their own screen. And I couldn't bring myself to a non-normalized database. So I created a table that contains all the standard fields that right now we have for players. And instead of non-normalizing 2 players in our game object, I made it a list, and I'll probably eventually swap it out to a data grid. My motto in building something is first you get it to work and then you make it look good. So this is going to be just going for speed and going for getting things to work and tables created. So we're going to come in here and simultaneously, we're going to come in and say, this is a game player, right? And that should be a singular. So now we come down here and this is our game player. And game player's parent, well, we know what that is. That's going to be our game details. And our list exists on game details. And that's, oh goodness, it doesn't look like I named him. Okay, we'll do that for now. Let's go ahead back over and fix. So that's why you need names on things, because it just doesn't work right if you don't have names. It makes the code not have a whole lot of sense. So I'm sure we'll run into some of these. I do my best, but I inevitably always misnaming something, and this one was staring me in the face. Don't know how I screwed that up. So we'll come in here and say, okay, game player. Oh, he's a plural, I would guess. Doesn't look like I filled out a whole lot on him either. I'm thinking I was deciding I was going to do that right up front. Okay, so let's go in here and say Rockwell and make that 12. And now to build out the, see, we don't need column headers, always show selection, full row select, and grid lines. Okay, so now we can save and create. Now, in order for ClassBuilder to see our changes, we need to actually carry this all the way through to running the ICE process. Okay, so once we run the ICE process, and then we get that all properly put into the video game constants in Windows, then when we come over here and I say modify or create, ClassBuilder at that point goes to the project and it does an iterative search for any forms and then reads through all the forms, gathering all the stuff and the data and the um, enumerations and that sort of thing. And it's a pretty quick process. It's already completed. So now I can come over here and we should have our list icon game players. Now, this is going to be a child collection. He's going to be owned by our actual game. Now, let's see. Our first field, always on tables, is an easy one. ID, he's going to be an integer. And yes, he's key. Yes, he's an auto. And then we have player name. Whoops, I guess I clicked a little bit too much. Okay. Name string, let's go ahead and say 75. Not null. Eventually, I probably am going to need a combo box. I don't normally use list views. I really don't find a need for them. The system will build one for us. That's cool, but I just never see the need for them. I need to see our screen now. So let's come over here and say, here's our game player. And come on, there we go. So our next field is nationality. So let's see. Our war game has already selected the era, I believe. Otherwise, we're going to have to go back and tweak that because nationality nationality is going to be an ID, and this is going to link to an actual table, which is our nationality table. And let's see, combo box. Oh, that's right. I'm going to have to rename all those fields. All right, let's go do that real quick. Because originally I just copied all that over here. And I had these in here as _1, _2 to be for the various players, player 1 and player 2. And it had the same name. And I couldn't bring myself. I'm too much of a purist when it comes down to database structures and stuff like that. I can't make a non-normalized table. I mean, I can for a field here and there. Let's go ahead and save and push that out. Okay, so we save it. Let's jump back real quick because I want to see if we actually put era in that table into the parent table. I guess it doesn't matter at this point. We're going to be back there in just a second anyhow, because we haven't finished processing that, building that structure out. Okay, so now we've pushed all the new names. ClassBuilder has everything. We can get rid of these code sheets generated by ICE Design. Let's go ahead and come back here. Okay, so now let's see. You'll jump back and forth as you find things you don't like. That's just the nature of the beast I've decided in my life. So now we have where is nationality? There's the proper nationality. And now we can come in here and say, okay, we have color. And that is gonna need to color. I'm gonna guarantee that somewhere color is gonna be a reserved word or a command. So let's say player color, and ooh, this is gonna be since we choose colors, we can say ID. And this is going to be a foreign key to type colors. and we are using player color. Okay, so that field's done. And now we can come down here and say facing. So, and I know facing is not, oh, wait, that's an ID, isn't it? Hey, that reminds me. Let's see, foreign key, and you're going to have facing, and that says unit face. Let's come on back here because I really detest having player put into this field, the word. So color I had a problem with. I didn't think that that would fly, but color ID, I know that's not going to be something. Okay, so we have all our fields here. So we have our, oh, no, we don't. Wait a minute. We have to have one more field because remember, this is a child table, right? So we have to have a field for our parent ID. So this is going to be WarGame ID. And this is going to be a foreign key to a table. And we have WarGame. And let's see, that's not non-existent as a thing there. I don't like foreign keys, especially linking keys. These guys here are kind of more like fields to me. I know we call them foreign keys. I don't think of them that way because they're to type tables. So this guy is a real table key. So that one goes there. So now let's come back up here and we can say, okay, now we have our child table. Let's come over here and open up our game details. And let's see. We did have era. Look at that way up there at the top. All right, so now, oh, I didn't code him, did I? That was silly of me. What did I do? Just not see it? Okay, that's fine. So we can say game ERA ID, and this is going to be a foreign key, and that's to a real table called game era, and this is going to be selected there. All right, so you belong to come on up here. I'm going to move him above name. Okay, so now it looks like we got all our fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is the ID. So now let's go ahead and link in our child table here. So we're going to have a child table of player. That's what's going to populate this grid right here. And so we select our table. This gives us a collection name of game player collection. And we're going to link on WarGame ID. Now, link type is kind of out of scope. So we have our player table. Eventually we'll have the game map collection here because when we build the map, which will probably be our next table, then we'll come back and link it into WarGame. And the other thing I need to come into here and do is turn on export. We want to be able to export this data. So, yes, I believe that we're even going to use that. So now what I need to do is come back here to Game Player, and we will turn that on. So we're going to, from this point down, if you think of this as a giant tree structure, we're starting here, and then everything going down, everything linked here, we're going to be able to say export WarGame number 5, and then all the child data that's underneath WarGame 5 goes with. So then you have a single structure that we then have in the player that loads all of that up and in. So for right now, we've now built our beginnings of our war game. We've added our players. And so we can come over here and say, let's go start building stuff, huh? So I'm going to complete and let's come into here and build the, did I click that? There it goes. Okay. So here is the sequel that we have here. And I'm going to copy that and come over to my SQL engine. This is my SQL class product that I bought 25 years ago or so, and I'm still using it. If you're into development, I'm sure you have your favorite SQLite manager. If not, there's an awful lot of them out there to go play with. This I can say I highly recommend. SQLite Expert Professional, although the price has gone up to like $100. I think I bought it, it was 60. But okay, so we've now built our war game table. Let's come out here and we can build our player table. And I just come in here and paste the code in and say go. And you'll see a table pop up over here. If I click that, oh, there he goes. So we got game player and we have war game over here. And it has, let's see, no data, but we can come over and look at the design of it and we can actually edit the design and whatnot here. So, I mean, a SQL manager, you need a good one. Find one and stick to it. Okay, our next class that we're going to do, it doesn't matter the order. We're going to spit these out. So we're going to create, okay, he's just telling us that he's exported it for us. And we can come over here and export our the big file. So, I mean, this is close 568 lines of code. So this is our entire module right now for dealing with WarGame table and the child player table. Eventually, this will be much bigger, but it's awful nice to me to know I didn't have to write all that. Okay, so now we're going to need the code behind form. And yes, I want you to go build it all for me. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and export that guy. And then we can come over here to WarGame and we can export that code. Okay, so we've just created, I don't know, rough swag, if I had to guess, the better part of 1,000 lines of code for our project. And so now let's come on over here and let's add them to our project. So now, first thing I want to do, now we don't have to add, obviously, the SQL. That's already been executed. Our database is already linked in. And let's come over here to models. These are where our modules get created. And we have game player, and I have WarGame that I'm going to open up. And all right, you guys are here. We will add them to our project and add to project. Come back to our main code sheet. And this is our big creator code sheet. And we can slide them in down here. X include models. And this would be, what is it? Game players? Is that what I called them? Let's see. Yes, game player. Whoops. That didn't feel right. PLAYERS.PBI. Okay. Or is it game player? Player, singular. All right. And then Then we have WarGame, right? Okay, so now, so those two are now added. So that's our database layer. All these guys here that say models are database layer. Up here at the top, I put in the types because types don't need anybody else to be in existence. They just are standalone static tables or code defined tables, I guess. And so we should have game player and then war game here. Okay, and this was in views. So now this is the code behind form, and we will add this to our project, add the project, and add to projects. So we should see them pop up over here in views. And now we can come down here to views and say, okay, X include, and we're going to say views FRM. Oh goodness, I did that wrong, didn't I? It's game player. Game player. And we will then come into you and add war game. Okay. All right. So now, let's go ahead. I'm feeling lucky. How about you? Let's go ahead and execute code. Okay. So, yes, this is work player and he needs a reference. I bet I put those in upside down. Yep. Okay. Work player needs, this guy here to be on top. Okay, but what I actually would rather do in addition to that is I'm going to move, since this is one of those monolithic kind of objects, whoops, I want to comment him. And let's come back here to the spot about right there. And let's define him right here as global. Okay, so we haven't really hooked the code in yet. So this is all data grid stuff that I'll get to working on in a bit outside of this video because it's getting ridiculously long. Down here we have a create button. So this we're going to want to jump over to say game player create, right? So if I create a new game player, call that function right there, then we've actually hooked our create code in. So let's see if we can get past the compile here. And hey, that's looking good to me. And let's see here now. We have our, okay, rather lame at the moment initial screen popping up. But it's nice to know that our 1,200 lines of generated code compiled, right? That's got to be worth something. So let's go down here and let's create a game. And it blows up on disable game details. We went to the wrong place, didn't we? Let's see. Game disable. Why would let me think for a minute. This is, oh, I'm in player. I wanted to be in wargame. Duh. Okay, so how about if we wargame create? Okay, let's come back here. All right, and let's get rid of player. We're not creating a player without a wargame. I need the wargame first. Okay, let's give it a shot. So, so screen comes up. We click create. And look at that. We have World War II, which I spelled wrong. That's the only record we got there. You have a single game and campaign game. Now, we didn't hook this up. So actually, we need a modify and delete button there. But let's go ahead and kick back out of all of this. And let's come over here to WarGame. And we have, yes, that seems to all be linking up rather nicely. We can come out here to, where is the, oh goodness, that's all of that stuff. All right, where's WarGame? Ah, that's game details. Well, that's the one we're looking at. All right, let's collapse it all. All right, so we're in here. We're centering child. That's something we'll look at later. We want to come down to gadgets, and we have a gadget ad, right? Here he is. Okay, so we're not going to create a war game. We need to create a player. So, we'll come here and let's put you in there. So, and I worked really hard at trying to get all this indentation right. I only got a few of them screwed up now. Okay, so now we should be able to go all the way through to the player screen. Yes, it's the apple, the egg, and the chicken and the egg kind of thing. So we have player being loaded before wargame, or wargame being loaded before player, I believe is what it is. So then how can player or wargame see the create, modify, and delete without actually bringing these? And I will bring these over here. And we can just add them in up here. Okay. Okay, now he can see that that exists. This all goes back to the thread of execution. So we come back here and let's come up here to where we load our two views. WarGame is trying to call create player, which is on game player, but it hasn't seen game player. So I moved or copied the declares and I put them up here. So now he knows that they're going to eventually exist. So now he'll pass compile. Oh, well, I guess I didn't quite copy it all. And there. All right. Okay. And it passed compile. So now we come into our rather lame screen here, but I'm going to fix all this. Right now, we just get it to try to come up and to do its thing. And we hit create. So we have stuff in here. We can put in our game name. Okay. Okay, so we have that and we have this. I haven't obviously I haven't put in any of the RTFs, so none of that'll do anything. So max turns. We should be able to get the players. Look at that. We have our player, and he's either going to be access and allies, and we have color. Looks like that needs to be a little bit wider. And then why did face not work? Maybe we have a spelling issue. Okay, but the gist is we generated the code for all of that. And without a whole lot of tweaking, we have all of that up and running, don't we? That's probably going to finish this video. I'll do some more tweaking and then report back in the next video. Thanks for your time.